The Tampa Bay Lightning, after their 2021 Stanley Cup, Steve, you mentioned this earlier in one of our other previews, they had last day at school etched into the Stanley Cup ring. It feels like that's the Pittsburgh Penguins this year.
That's funny. That's what I thought. When I started writing my notes, I don't think that anymore.
So hold on to that thought. Jesse, odds makers, they had 103 points last season. The Pittsburgh Penguins, if you bet against them, you're looking for trouble.
101.5 on Sports Interaction is their over-under points.
You got to remember, too, the have and have not in the Metro Division last year was huge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can see some points being shaved off of teams like Pittsburgh, even New York and Carolina.
Yeah, you can finish it in the same slot just with 10 less points because the bottom teams got a little better.
Because Washington had 100 and barely squeaked in.
Right.
That's one I might stay away from.
Washington,
that's a tough one.
You wouldn't take that one at all?
They didn't barely squeak in. Remember the 8th seed in the East was solved by like February.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. And the Islanders were like, we're in it, and they were.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Anyway, listen. So let's talk about the Penguins. Let's talk about the Penguins, Steve.
Sidney Crosby.
It felt like maybe the last dance a little bit. Malkin didn't look like it was going to get done. Letang, they got him done, and then they got Malkin done, and it was kind of like Sidney Crosby, I think, had to put in a call to Evgeny Malkin to get him to talk to Ron Hextall and Brian Burke again.
Geno, okay.
He's still great when he's playing.
But didn't both of those guys sign 4-year deals?
I think so.
Malkin and Letang?
Yes.
So this isn't last dance. This is last half decade. Like the rumors of the Pittsburgh Penguins' demise have been greatly exaggerated. And they have a very unique window. And the window is Sidney Crosby's career. The moment his career is over, that window closes, and then they rebuild. For as long as he is living, breathing, and under NHL contract, they're going for it.
And he'll be under NHL contract until his body gives out.
Yep. Man, he might be the most underrated player in the league. I'm serious.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, he might be the most underrated because people forget who the hell he is. I got him in fantasy this year in a league with 8 guys in the third round.
Wow.
Explain that. He had over 100 points. His name is Sidney J. Crosby. I don't know his middle name.
Q.
Sidney Cole Harbor Crosby.
Quoll Harbor.
Yeah.
More like Swole Harbor because he has custom-made
Letang,
pants.
by the way, is signed for 6 years.
Okay, that's maybe aggressive.
Well, I think that was to keep the term down, right? So they'd have a shot at Malkin.
I would love to see the breakdown because I think that is some shenaniganery.
Not Brian Burke.
No, it's pretty even. It's not really shenanigans on the Letang deal. It's just he's probably not going to play it out. You know, it's one of those where he'll go on LTIR when he hits 39 and he's no longer playing. Crosby's done anyways.
About to say.
This is a team that's going to be good as long as they decide they're going to be good. As long as Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, and Evgeny Malkin decide that this team is going to be good and we're going to try really hard and we got a great goaltender in Tristan Jarry, it's a good team.
Do we decide that the usual rules don't apply to the Pittsburgh Penguins? Because, like, we look at a team like San Jose a few years ago, and they were old by design.
Mm-hmm.
They meant to be that way. And that ended up getting them to the third round, ended up even getting them to the Stanley Cup final against Pittsburgh Penguins.
2016.
And then they fell off so freaking hard. Where is Pittsburgh in that equation? And does that equation apply to them? Because they're old by design. Sidney Crosby is well on the wrong side of 30. So was Malkin. So was Letang. People forget Malkin was drafted the year before Crosby because he made his debut the year after Crosby. Dude, that's an old team that I love and can't bet against because they're the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Who did they buy this offseason to add to that core?
I know they have Jeff Carter, but he's been there a while. Who do they add to the core? Oh my God, Jeff Petrie.
Jeff Petrie.
Yes.
An elder statesman.
It's funny. I forgot him for the second time today because I was making my notes. And it's just a bunch of grumpy old men looking for a cup.
Their team is old. Hit me again.
And they're going to be good. Like the thing is, we see all these old guys, but they're going to be good. You remember last year they didn't have Malkin until January.
Yep.
And they stayed in it Tristan Jarry had a great start to the year, and the team they didn't have Crosby as well for the first, I think, 7 games.
Yeah, and Evan Rodriguez
Was their number 1 center.
and was good. And then they made him the third line center and he wasn't good anymore.
Right.
I don't understand this team.
Also, a resurgent Rickard Rakell had his best season in years with Pittsburgh last year. And Danton Heinen, what I understand is he's having a really good camp. So that might be one to watch. I don't know. You're not a believer.
No, it's just I always am bashful about that. Like, aren't the Leafs' 2 best players Nick Robertson and Dennis Mulligan?
And now Alex Steves, how dare you?
And Alex Steves.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got news for you. If all 3 of those guys make the team, I will eat a hat.
Don't say that on air because you're going to be
I will eat a hat.
You heard it.
An edible hat made of
like
licorice.
injuries happen. Like there's a world where they're on the team.
No, you can make a hat out of anything.
They also
you can make a hat out of
A
food.
donut hat.
they also signed somebody with some Stanley Cup pedigree.
Like they need it.
Who is a who do you think? He's
It's
a
not Phil Kessel.
noted.
Alan Walsh client? Oh, no. Who'd they get?
Let him guess. Let him guess.
Jan Ruda.
Yes. Jan Ruda, baby.
I almost said David Perron. That would've been a throwback.
No, that would have been bad. But so I look at their defense: Dumoulin, Letang, Pettersson, Petrie, Ruda, Ruedel. You don't hate that.
There's nothing wrong with the team.
Nothing wrong with the team. And then in goal, and I think not enough attention is paid to Tristan Jarry is a top player
Yep.
until the occasional thing where he's not.
Yeah, I think he's one of those goalies who would be best served by being a goalie. Stop leaving your crease.
If you're a goaltender,
tend the goal.
yeah.
We're dealing with that in Toronto with Ilya Samsonov. Stay in your freaking net. But really, really, really good player. And if he could just avoid those squirrely games, I mean, that's a really, really difficult team to beat.
Is there? Oh, sorry, Jesse.
Mike Sullivan, one of the most underrated coaches in the entire National
He's been the
Hockey
coach
League.
there forever now. Forever.
But like again with the Pittsburgh Penguins, there's a guy who has set such a high standard that when he achieves the standard, everyone's just like, "Yeah, okay, good job."
Yeah,
That's Crosby, that's Malkin, that's
Yeah.
Letang, that's
So, okay. So here's what we got for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, so they are old. They are a extremely tough out.
Mhm.
If the season goes perfectly, what things have happened? I'm just talking regular season. I'm not talking playoffs.
they have at least one of Crosby or Malkin in the lineup at all times.
But never both.
Never both. But it's never like that, is it?
No, it's never both.
Yeah.
It's never like that, is it? A 1-2-3 of Crosby, Malkin, Jeff Carter would be like an NHL. I'm gonna
NHL
say
2011 Dream Team.
yeah, dream team, just unbeatable.
Like they've been so good, all 3 of them, for so long.
and now all 3 of them are underrated.
Yeah.
All 3.
I mean, Jeff Carter might just be Jeff Carter.
I think he's pretty accurate.
I don't know if he's underrated.
On the third line there.
Yeah,
But-
maybe.
And like we haven't even brought
I mean,
up
he's 45 points last year. Not bad.
Gensel and Rust on the wings. Like they're always going to show up and try
Playoff guys.
try for those guys.
So,
Big hit by losing Zach Aston Reese.
yeah, especially to the greatest team on earth. Question quickly, because then we'll have to wrap it up. If things go bad, what's happened?
Their starting center plays in the ECHL.
Right, because they've been decimated by injuries.
Yeah, like can you see the Pittsburgh Penguins missing the playoffs? I can't. The only time they've missed the playoffs in Sidney Crosby's career is shenanigans because it was the qualifying round against Montreal.
Right.
That's shenanigans.
That is shenanigans.
Flag on the play, shenanigans. I count it as the playoffs. Go look at their playoff stats. Still counts.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. Rumors of their demise greatly exaggerated. The one thing that sucks if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan is almost guaranteed you're going to have to play Carolina or New York Rangers probably in the first round.
You got to count on experience at that point.
They
You have to count on your
they
Didn't work
experience.
last time.
almost had it last
Almost.
time.
Yeah,
Oh,
almost.
They were in all of those games.
20 seconds to go.
With
Gentlemen,
the third string goalie, too.
20 seconds to go.
Hmm.
Where do you have Pittsburgh in the division?
Well, I sort of gave it away. Third.
I have them third, and we're looking down the road a little. The rebuild here is going to be long when Sidney Crosby's gone.
And whenever that comes around, you let me know.
Where do you have them at?
Oh, third. Yeah.
Oh.
Duh. Come on.